Good morning everyone, my name is Michael. Welcome to the Gas and Gavel video channel. Today we are going to take a look at this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. If you guys have been enjoying the videos on my Gas and Gavel YouTube channel, I would truly appreciate it if you can subscribe to the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel. It's the best way to continue to help me bring you guys in-depth, exciting, and absolutely free car review content. I truly do appreciate your support. And back to this review of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. This 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe is finished in a palladium silver metallic over a black Designo Nappa leather interior. The original MSRP of the 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe started at $121,550 before options. The Mercedes Benz S-Class Coupe, entitled the C217, was a Grand Tourer produced from 2014 to 2020. It succeeded the 216 CL class and marked the final ever produced S-Class Coupe. The C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe came in three primary trim levels: the base S550 Coupe that we see in front of us, the more powerful S63 AMG Coupe, and the top of the line S65 AMG Coupe that was powered by a twin turbo V12 motor. The 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe is powered by a 4.7-liter twin turbocharged V8 motor. This V8 motor pushes out 449 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is routed to the ground via a 7-speed automatic transmission, and all that power is sent to all 4 wheels via Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. This S550 we see in front of us is completely stock except for one single modification, a Renntech ECU tune that supposedly puts horsepower numbers of the S550 equal to that of its higher trim siblings, the S63 and AMG. And of course, Renntech is a very classic Mercedes-Benz tuner for the aftermarket. They provide both ECUs plus exhaust parts, intake parts, turbo upgrades for any and all makes and models of their Mercedes-Benz lineup. Renntech was founded in 1989 by Hartmut Fayel, a former technical director of Mercedes-Benz tuning division AMG, and is providing aftermarket parts for the Mercedes-Benz brands and other major brands since 1989. The Renntech ECU tune for the C217 V8 twin-turbo coupe is available via Renntech's website for $2,500. And for the very small price of $2,500, you essentially get a performance tune on the Mercedes-Benz ECU that increases horsepower from the stock numbers of the 4.7-liter V8 twin-turbo to essentially AMG power levels. Compared to the stock Mercedes-Benz S550, with the Renntech ECU tune, you get an increase of 66 horsepower and 139 foot-pounds of torque. That brings the total power of this Renntech tuned Mercedes-Benz S550 to 540 horsepower and an astounding 705 foot-pounds of torque. The Renntech ECU tune is completely plug and play. You essentially plug it into the OBD slot on the computer, load it in, and you can flash and reflash the car as many times as you want between the stock ECU tune and the Renntech ECU tune. And what's great about the plug and play unit is that you don't have to remove the computer. Again, all you have to do is plug in the unit into the OBD port and load up the Renntech software into your car. And let's say you need to do some maintenance on your car, you can essentially reflash it back to the OEM ECU tune when you bring it to the dealer, and reflash it back again to the Renntech tune afterwards. So it's again great for tuners who want the factory OEM support. Let's take a look at the motor of your 2016 Mercedes-Benz S550 Coupe. And here it is. Here is your 4.7-liter twin-turbo V8 motor. This 4.7-liter V8 twin-turbo motor puts out 449 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is sent to the ground via a 7-speed automatic transmission, and power is sent to all 4 wheels via Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC all-wheel drive. And as stated, the only modification to this V8 twin-turbo motor by the owner of this S550 is the Renntech ECU tune, and that Renntech plug-and-play ECU tune adds 66 horsepower and 139 foot-pounds of torque to this motor. So essentially, this Renntech tuned V8 twin-turbo motor now puts out 540 horsepower and over 705 foot-pounds of torque. Let's take a look at the M278 motor from an enthusiast perspective. Again, this is a V8 twin-turbo Mercedes-Benz motor. I love how Mercedes-Benz engine bays are always so cleanly designed and executed. The valve cover features this very cool V8 embezzle onto the valve cover with the Mercedes-Benz emblem right in front. And integrated within that is this very, very nice, all this silver plumbing for the turbochargers that run from the valve cover into this nice shiny piping. Another really nice design feature of this V8 twin turbo motor is the fact that the 2 intakes here and here are matted to what looks like essentially a ram air system that essentially pushes air from this front Mercedes grille right into those 2 intakes to help cool down and bring cool air to that V8 twin turbo motor. I like how all the relevant engine compartments are again covered in a nice clean plastic covering. Here is your engine, your car's battery cover with charge points in case you do need to jumpstart your car. Your negative terminal there and positive terminal is up here. Down below you have access to your windshield wiper spout. And of course there is your Mercedes-Benz oil cap, and this car definitely only recommends for you to use Mercedes-Benz oil. And in the center of your engine up here, this metal piece is essentially part of your water to air intercooler. Whereas other turbo motors have an air to air intercooler, this car has a water to air intercooler. And part of that intercooler setup is mounted right in the center of the valve cover. Definitely a very cool addition to that V8 twin turbo motor. 0 to 60 times for this V8 twin turbo motor is 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. According to Renntech, the Renntech ECU tune for this particular motor brings the 0 to 60 times down below the OEM 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds to a respectable 4.2 to 4.3 seconds 0 to 60 times. This V8 twin turbo motor gets 16 city and 24 highway. The car also has a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds and a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the key that you get in your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. And here it is. if you guys are familiar, one of my first videos I did on the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel is essentially my own personal 2003 Mercedes Benz SL500 convertible project car, and essentially came with the same key. Again, this is one of the things that I find funny with Mercedes, is that they kind of give you the same key from 2003 until I believe like almost the end of 2020, so a 20-year run. So it's very essentially it's not just similar, it's like exact duplicate of a 2003 Mercedes Benz key. But again, why mess with a good thing? It works. The key is very sturdy, definitely very heavy. You get this nice silver trim finish on the sides, and on the center you do get a Mercedes Benz logo embezzled onto your key fob. Very nice. You have multi-functions. You can lock the car, you can unlock the car, and you can open up the trunk with the power button over here. Very nice, great option. Let's close that up. The key also features a nice panic button, and in case your car's battery fails or any other reason why the electronics of your Mercedes does not work, the key does have a secret key, analog key, that you essentially can essentially pop this open here, and you essentially get, there you go, you pop it open with a little slot there, and you essentially get a little analog key to start up your Mercedes. So definitely a very cool feature of Mercedes key. Put that right back in there, and you just pop it right back in. And again, a very classic Mercedes key with both electronic and analog functions. So again, this is the key that you get when you do purchase your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. Let's begin the exterior tour of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. And we'll start with the front end. The front aggressively designed headlights are full LED Mercedes Benz headlights with active curve illumination and corner illuminating lights. They include LED daytime running lights, and adaptive high beam assist. Again, they're nicely aggressively designed with these angular slotted headlights. There are 6 LED turn signals running the length of the top of the headlight. There is an aggressive LED light trim, or eyebrow, I like to call it. Both the high beams and low beams are Mercedes intelligent LED headlight system. So you get the dual lens high beam, low beam. The entire housing is painted this nice flat black, giving it a very aggressive look on the inside trim. The high beams and low beams are accentuated with a chrome headlight bezel integrated around the low beam and high beam. And there's an integrated amber signal on the side with the Mercedes Benz name integrated into the headlights. Definitely great looking headlights in your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550. I also want to note that there is a factory option to add a Swarovski crystal option that adds 48 Swarovski crystals into the headlights. This car doesn't have it, but if you need more bling for your headlights, there's definitely that option in the 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe headlights. Let's take a look at the passenger side headlights with the headlights turned on and the signal flashing. So here you have the LED turn signal up top. You have the adaptive LED high beam and low beam headlights. Very nice. You have an integrated LED daytime driving light strip running the course of the headlight. And of course that amber signal on the side for safety. Again, they look very, very great turned off, but the headlights look even better with all the lights turned on. And here are your headlights of your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550, which again are composed of full LED headlights with active curve illumination, corner illuminating lights, and LED daytime running lights. This 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 does come with the AMG Sport Package. The AMG Sport Package is a $5,500 option that gives you essentially AMG style front bumper, AMG style rear bumper, AMG style side skirts, and a diamond radiator grille with chrome tips. The AMG Sport Package front bumper essentially gives you the look of the more aggressive AMG S63 and S65 front bumper in your base S550 Coupe. I love the design of the AMG front bumper. You have a very, very aggressive side intake outlet that is definitely functional, wrapped in a nice honeycomb grille. Under the AMG Sport front bumper, you do get this really nice chrome accented front spoiler lip. A nice contrast with that metallic gray paint. Again, functional, aggressive intake on the sides. Above that chrome front spoiler, you do have a functional, huge lower intake grille with integrated parking sensors. Integrated into the AMG Sport front bumper, you do have a tow hook access point. Very nicely designed front bumper. And again, the AMG Sport Package in your base S550 gives you the look of the more aggressive S63, S65 front bumpers. So the front bumper of the 2016 Mercedes-Benz S550 Coupe actually has two forward-facing camera. The first camera is a normal camera mounted right above the center Mercedes-Benz emblem, and that is your camera for the front-facing 360 camera, and that's just a normal camera. And to the left, you have this slightly bigger camera integrated into that Mercedes-Benz grille, and that camera is actually the forward-facing night vision camera, and that essentially displays a live forward-facing night vision view that is displayed in the instrument cluster to allow you to essentially see pedestrians and other obstacles in the streets that you may not otherwise see with the front LED headlights. And without the S550 AMG Sport Package, the regular bumper looks a little more plain, as a lot of this picture, whereas you get a much more aggressive design in the AMG package, Sport Package. And another piece of the AMG Sport Package is this AMG Sport Package specific front grille. This front grille has a diamond radiator grille finish with chrome tips. So you see the diamond finish in the grille with the chrome tip finish. And in the center of this AMG Sport Package grille, you have the classic Mercedes Benz emblem in the center in a chrome and piano black finish. Definitely lends a very aggressive look to it. The long sloping hood of your S550 has these really cool hood strakes, creating these muscular bulges, seen very prevalently in this sunlight here, giving it just a very, again, just muscular, aggressive looking hood without the need for hood strakes or hood outlets or inlets. Just a very clean finished hood. Accentuated by just very clean hood lines. Let's take a look at the wheel and tire package of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. This Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe features the optional 20-inch multi-spoke AMG wheel and tire package. It is a $750 wheel option that upgrades your base S550 19-inch wheel and tire to a 20-inch AMG designed multi-spoke wheel. The 20-inch multi-spoke wheel features an AMG etching on the outer rim. The entire wheel is finished in a nice silver metallic finish. With the Mercedes-Benz logo in the center. You do have chrome lug nuts. And the entire 20-inch AMG multi-spoke wheel package is wrapped in a 245 40 20-inch tire. Behind your 20-inch AMG wheel and tire package, you do have 4-piston Mercedes-Benz branded big brake calipers, finished in a nice metallic silver. And those 4-piston front brake calipers are mounted to the 4-piston big brake Mercedes Benz branded front calipers are attached to this huge 14-inch cross-drilled brake rotors. And behind the 20-inch wheels and the 4-piston cross-drilled brakes is a Mercedes Benz variable adjustable air suspension. Let's take a look at the rear wheel and tire package of your S550. The 20-inch wheel and tire package of these 20-spoke AMG wheels are staggered. These rear multi-spoke AMG wheels are slightly wider, and they are wrapped in a 275/35 20-inch tire. Again, you have that metallic machine finish on that 20-inch multi-spoke wheel design. On the outer rim, you do have the AMG logo stamped into the rim. In the center, that matching Mercedes Benz emblem with the chrome lug nuts. In the rear, you have a slightly smaller 2-piston brake caliper mounted to a slightly smaller 13-inch cross-drilled brake rotor. Again, this car looks great with the upgraded 20-inch wheels. And here is the wheel and tire package of this specific 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe with the 20-inch Mercedes Benz multi-spoke AMG wheel package. The front fenders feature a biturbo 4MATIC badge to remind you that your S550 does have 2 turbos and Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. The S550 Coupe's side mirrors are body painted, heated, and of course they are powered and do close up when you park and lock your car. These side mirrors do have an integrated LED turning signal with a subtle AMG logo integrated into the side light as part of the AMG Sport package. The side mirrors are bicolored with a shiny black painted pedestal and that silver metallic paint finish. This car is equipped with 360 cameras, and this car's 360 camera on the sides are integrated into the side view mirrors. And one of my favorite features of the 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe is most definitely the pillarless front and rear windows. So this is a quintessential Mercedes Benz Coupe design feature that features this huge open window without a B-pillar that allows you this open air experience when driving your Mercedes Benz Coupe. This is definitely one of my most favorite features of this car. And let's take a look at what that window looks like when the window is up. So when you put the front window up and the rear window up, you're protected from the elements. But if you want a complete open air experience, you can lower all 4 of the windows, and you get this complete open air experience. That just gives you this, again, kind of like a convertible feel in your hardtop coupe. It definitely lets in a lot of air, a lot of light, and is one of the most unique features in these big bodied Mercedes coupes. Very reminiscent of Mercedes Benz CL series Mercedes. The entire window frame is trimmed in this nice silver trim finish, providing a nice contrast with that metallic gray paint. You get a matching bicolor Mercedes Benz door handle. The top has a chrome finish, the bottom has a body colored metallic gray finish. And there is access points for, again, an analog key in case you ever get locked out. But if you don't, the key does have a keyless entry. Very nice, sturdy front door handle. And another favorite design element that I feel makes the design of the exterior of this S550 Coupe is, although the body is supposed to be curvaceous and angular, these body line, the straight, aggressive, linear body line that runs the front fender all the way down the door panel, all the way to the rear end, gives it almost this aggressive, flared front and rear fender finish. Especially from this angle, you can definitely see what looks like a widened rear fender. Although this car does not have widened fender flares, the addition of that body line, again, just accentuates and adds to the side profile of your S550. And that line is further reinforced with this other vertical or horizontal straight body line that runs the bottom half of the vehicle. Again, giving the fenders just an aggressive profile that integrates not only angular design elements, but also soft, curved design elements that come together to create one of the nicest looking Mercedes-Benz coupes of ever made, in my opinion. And standard on all S550 coupes is this stationary full panoramic roof. This panoramic roof does have a mechanical sunshade. Unfortunately, it does not open or close, but it definitely allows a lot more light into the cabin of your S550. There is an option of what Mercedes-Benz likes to call a magic roof, and that magic roof has photovoltaic cells that essentially allow you to darken and lighten that panoramic roof with a touch of a button. And the easy way to tell whether you have that magic roof or not is essentially, if you have it, there will be no electronic sunshade, whereas this car does have an electronic sunshade to cover up that panoramic roof. But again, all S550s do come with this stationary, non-opening panoramic roof. Another great design feature that comes with the AMG Sport package are these AMG Sport side door sills that are bicolored. They are definitely more aggressive than the standard S550 side skirts. These AMG Sport specific side skirts feature an aggressive angular design with a two-tone finish. You have a metallic gray finish of the body color, and then the bottom skirt is a chrome trim running the length of the bottom of the side skirt, providing your AMG coupe with a much more aggressive side profile. And again, these side skirts only come if you do option for the $5,500 AMG Sport appearance package. Let's take a look at the rear end of your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. The rear heated glass features a hidden integrated third LED brake light. Your passenger side rear fender features the gas cap for your S550. The rear taillights feature Mercedes-Benz full LED multi-piece taillights. The taillights feature a dual row LED taillight, multi-piece. There is a center LED taillight that's integrated into the trunk, and the rest is integrated into the rear quarter fender. There's a row of LED lights for the top for your brake lights, and a row of clear LED taillights for your turn signal and your reverse light. And let's take a look at what they look like when they're turned on. The tail lights feature this integrated chrome finish that runs essentially the top of the tail lights all the way across the trunk into the passenger side tail light also. Very nice addition to those taillights. And these are your Mercedes Benz LED taillights when they're turned on. There's that row of brake lights up top with a amber turn signal on the bottom row. Very nice, very bright, and just a very clean, aggressive design, matching the rest of the clean body of your S550. The rear trunk features this very subtle integrated hump into the rear of the trunk, giving it kind of like a small duckbill-like spoiler finish, although there is no spoiler. Very subtle, aggressive note to the rear trunk of your S550 Coupe. The S550 Coupe trunk also has that integrated chrome strip that runs the top of the headlights throughout the trunk into the driver's side headlight. The center trunk features the Mercedes Benz emblem in the center, and this emblem is also functional because when you put your car in reverse, the Mercedes Benz logo actually opens up, and the rear view camera is actually integrated behind that Mercedes Benz emblem. I'll play a video for you right now. Besides that tri-spoke Mercedes Benz emblem, on the right side of the trunk you do have your 4MATIC emblem designating your car equipped with Mercedes Benz all-wheel drive system. And to the left, you do have your S550 logo on the left side of the trunk. And the owner of this S550 has integrated this powered by Renntech emblem because this car is equipped with the Renntech ECU tune for the Mercedes Benz S550. Very clean designed trunk. Another reason for the cleanly designed trunk is that the license plate holder has been moved from the trunk down into the bottom of the rear bumper, and it's integrated into that AMG specific rear bumper that only comes if you option for the AMG Sport Package in your S550. The rear bumper of your S550 AMG Sport Package bumper consists of this aggressive side outlet with integrated black trim vent. In the normal non-Sport Package S550, this would be completely smooth with no vent. The AMG Sport Package rear bumper also has this integrated black painted rear diffuser. That has an integrated black painted finish with a contrasting body colored lower rear diffuser. And the entire AMG rear bumper integrates and houses those quad exhaust tips. This rectangular exhaust tip houses those quad tips on the inside. The exhaust on the S550 is a variable exhaust with the baffles opening and closing depending on which driving mode you're on, whether you're on eco, or if you want a louder exhaust tone, you can put into sport mode and the baffles of that variable exhaust will open up. Either way, the rectangular exhaust tips look very nicely integrated into that AMG style rear bumper. And I love how the diffuser has an integrated body color. And of course, integrated into that AMG sport bumper, rear bumper, you do have these rear red safety lights. You do have an outlet for a rear tow hook, and of course bumper sensors to protect your AMG Sport rear bumper. And I will play an exhaust clip for you now. Let's take a look at the trunk of your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. And again, in order to access the trunk, there is a button besides the driver's side door panel, or you can simply use your car's remote to open up that power trunk. And here it is. Here's the trunk of your Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. The trunk of your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe measures a respectable 10.1 cubic feet of storage space. And if you do need an additional storage space, there is an option for a fold down ski access. This car does not have it, but the S550 Coupe does have an option for a fold down ski access in the rear seat in case you need to store larger items. The trunk is lined in this very, very nice soft touch cloth material, soft and sturdy. To the left and right, you do have these netted storage compartments to store items. And in true enthusiast fashion, this person has decided to put their front plate in case they get pulled over, and of course a chamois to shine up your car before the car meet. Very, very nice storage options. There is a 12-volt trunk charging access right here in the rear. And you do have trunk lights left and right. This trunk is fully powered. So in case you do need to close it, you don't have to put any effort. You can just click that button there and the whole trunk will close right up for you. In the trunk of your Mercedes S550 Coupe, there is an additional storage space hidden underneath here that gives you slightly bit more storage space to put a bag, backpack, groceries, and again, that's all hidden beneath the flooring of your S550's trunk underneath this nice cool chrome door handle. The trunk also features this nice chrome finish on the trunk to help protect your trunk when you're lifting heavy items into that 10.1 cubic feet of space. And there is no spare tire because this car does come with run flat tires. And again, this is the trunk of your Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. Let's begin the interior tour of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe, and we'll start with the driver's side door panel. And here it is. Let's begin the interior tour of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe, and we'll start with the driver's side door panel. And here it is. As a reminder, this car does have the upgraded Mercedes-Benz Designo black Napa leather interior. The Designo design interior door panel features a piano black trim finish at the top of the door panel. Again, you have that supple, soft touch black Napa leather with what looks to me a gray cross stitch that definitely matches the exterior gray paint of this Mercedes. This car is equipped with the optional Burmester 3D surround sound system. The speaker sound system has the Burmester logo integrated into the door speaker with a nice silver finish. Next to the speaker, you do have your seat controls, your Designo AMG specific multifunctional seats, feature a mechanical headrest, rear seat, side bolsters. Essentially it can be adjusted a million different ways. The seats are heated and ventilated. There is 3 memory sport seatings, and this LR button essentially allows you to adjust your passenger side seat settings from your driver's side door panel. And that is what this seat with the R button is for. In case you want to sit in the driver's seat and help your passenger get comfortable from your driver's side seat controls. Underneath the powered seat options is this silver trim door handle with a lock and unlock button. Along the armrest, there is this integrated silver trim, kind of matching the silver trim of the AMG exterior front and rear bumpers. The window controls are all soft touch and silver trimmed. You do have your side mirror controls, and underneath your armrest you do have a hidden small storage compartment with your power trunk opener. Your door sill does have this illuminated Mercedes Benz logo with a silver polished trim finish to help protect the inside of your Mercedes Benz. A part of the AMG exterior sport package, you do get these silver trimmed with rubber inserted brake and accelerator pedal. Next to the accelerator pedal, you do have this red switch to open the hood to view that twin turbo V8. There's a nice thick Mercedes Benz branded floor mat. And here is your Mercedes Benz Designo interior, finish in a black Napa finish. Interior. The Burmester optional 3D surround sound system is a $6,100 option. This Designo piano black trim that's integrated into the door panel and your dash is a further $800 factory option. This Designo Napa black leather interior is a $3,250 factory option. The Mercedes Benz Designo or Designo interior factory option is an exclusive option that takes your Mercedes Benz standard interior and adds exclusive handcrafted Napa leather upholstery, gives you unique interior trim options such as this piano black dash finish, and offers such high-end materials for the interior such as Mercedes-Benz version of black Alcantara suede in the headliner. Again, this car is equipped with the Mercedes-Benz optional factory Designo interior package. The Designo front seats are heated, they are ventilated, they are multi-contour seats, and they have an integrated massage function integrated into the back rest of these seats. The seats feature this unique diamond trim finish along the center with exclusive Designo emblem integrated into the center of the seat. The seats again are just many multi-way adjustable, from the height to the side bolsters to the leg bolsters to the lumbar support to the headrest. There's integrated side impact airbag. And again, everything is just trimmed in that very soft, supple black Napa leather. With that contrasting silver trim that again matches the exterior paint color of this gray gunmetal metallic. Let's see what the cockpit looks like of your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. And here it is. The interior of your S550 Coupe features this tri-spoke steering wheel that is not only leather wrapped, but also features this very subtle dark wood grain finish on the bottom of the steering wheel and at the top of the steering wheel. That's very, very unique finishing touch in the steering wheel. And another very exotic type feature in your Mercedes Benz S550 is this flat bottom steering wheel. So you have that nice wood trim. Integrated into that leather trim. In the center, you do have that soft Napa finish in the center with that contrasting gray cross stitch. You have your Mercedes Benz emblem integrated down in the center. To the left and right of the center of the steering wheel, you do have your instrument controls and your telephone voice controls on the right. And with that 7-speed automatic transmission, you do have a manual option that allows you to shift your own gears using the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters located behind the steering wheel. You can shift up with the right side paddle, and you shift down on that 7-speed auto manual transmission with the left-hand paddle. Behind the steering wheel, on the left-hand side, you have your turn signal control stalk, your cruise control stalk, and your essentially transmission shift knob is a stalk that is integrated behind the right side of your tri-spoke steering wheel. This entire steering wheel is also heated, and it is powered every which way using a switch located here that allows you to bring your steering wheel up and down and tilt it forward and backwards. All powered. And located behind your steering wheel and your center dash, you have a pair of matching 12.3-inch screens set side by side. The first 12.3-inch screen is essentially your instrument cluster, and your second center-mounted 12.3-inch screen is your multimedia system. Both screens are surrounded in that piano black trim that runs the length of the dash into the door panels. To the left of your instrument cluster, you have a series of buttons, and these I call essentially your driver assist buttons. This car does come equipped with your steering assist. You have your lane keep assist button, highlighted in red. This is your parking sensors. You do have integrated 360 cameras, so when you click that button there, you do get access to your 360 cameras, allowing you to have access to your 360 cameras by clicking that center camera button. They'll bring up your different camera settings. You have a 360 view here from front and back. You have a top view, essentially every which way camera view. One very unique button here is this night vision button here. So when you click that button with the lane and the moon, you essentially get essentially night vision camera that's integrated into your instrument cluster. So as you can see, the mountains up top, but at night if you're driving in these dark canyons, you can press that, again, night vision camera, and just like if you ever watched TV shows such as SEAL Team or SWAT, and you see the guys bust into the criminals' headquarters wearing those, again, night vision goggles, this night vision setting is very, very similar in your Mercedes Benz. Definitely a very cool driver assistance option. And the last button here basically turns on and off your heads-up display. The top and bottom of the dash of your S550 features that black soft touch Nappa material. with that integrated gray cross stitch. That runs the length of the driver and passenger side dash area. Very nice extended leather feature. The climate outlets are essentially composed of these multi-circular airplane-like outlets. There are 4 in the center dash, and 1 on the driver's side, and another on the passenger side. They definitely give this airplane-like look to the center dash. I like how they are metal trimmed on the outside and inside, and they feel very, very sturdy. No cheap plastic AC outlets leading to broken vents. Again, they can be adjusted every which way, and you can use this button here to open and close said AC and heat outlets in your dash. On the bottom left of the steering wheel, you do have your Mercedes Benz headlight controls for your high beams and low beams, and you do have your electronic parking brake located right underneath that. Underneath your center vents, you do have your analog buttons for your climate controls. And since this car does feature dual zone climate controls for both passenger and driver, there are 2 sets of AC controls, 1 for the driver and 1 for the passenger. Underneath your climate control buttons, you do have this integrated, essentially ashtray with lighter, and I'm sure this can also double up as a charging outlet. But essentially, I call this like your cigar slash smoking station. Very classic Mercedes Benz. And underneath the smoking compartment, you have this piano black trimmed compartment. In the center, you do have your Designo emblem, signifying that you do have that special Mercedes Benz interior option. And hidden behind this compartment is your 6-disc CD changer. As such, you do have 6 discs. You can load up those 6-disc CDs into here. This functions as an additional storage compartment, but also functions also as your integrated hidden cup holders. Very, very nice. And underneath this compartment is your center console area, and I call this your multimedia slash driving mode section. So this piece here is essentially part of Mercedes-Benz command infotainment system. Essentially, instead of a touchscreen, you essentially use this this top portion as essentially like a mouse, so you can kind of move this left and right, and it'll move that your options left and right. You can also use this tuning knob to also adjust the options on your multimedia screen. Again, this functions as a touchpad. to control your multimedia system. On the center portion, you have shortcuts to different parts of your multimedia screen. So for example, if you're trying to access your seating functions, you can click here and it'll take you to your seating options where you can adjust your massaging options, your contouring, so on and so forth. If you want to go to your navigation, you have a shortcut to your navigation there. If you want to go to your media system and listen to different media options, you can click that. It'll connect to your Bluetooth and so on and so forth. And then if you want to change into your different vehicle settings, you can click that and I'll take you to different vehicle settings where you can access your seat settings, your vehicle settings, and access your operator's manual, so on and so forth. And right in the center, you do have your emergency lights in case of any accidents. To the right, you have an analog volume control up and down button in a nice silver trim finish. And to the left of the center console area is essentially my favorite buttons located in the interior of the Mercedes Benz S550. And it is essentially this row of buttons right here. So the first set of buttons, where you see this looks kind of like a shock absorber. The top says Sport, the bottom says Comfort. So this car does feature Mercedes Benz adjustable airmatic air suspension, and you can adjust the dampening or the stiffness of the shock absorbers. So Comfort is essentially just a softer setting, but if you want a more aggressive setting that makes your dampeners essentially much more stiff, you can click it into Sport, and that will again basically stiffen up the suspension. The second favorite button that I have is essentially there are two driving modes that come in the Mercedes Benz S550. The first is Eco, which is green, and I consider that just like the normal driving mode, but you can also put it into Sport, and when you put it into Sport, that's essentially the race mode of this car. And one noticeable thing that happens to the car is that when you put the car into Sport mode, the variable exhaust gets noticeably louder. Essentially, when you put into Sport mode, the baffles open up completely in the exhaust, and you can definitely hear a much more aggressive rumble to your car during idle and acceleration. When you put your car in Sport mode, not only does the variable exhaust baffles open up completely, the following happens to the car in Sport mode. In the engine and transmission, the throttle response becomes quicker, and the automatic transmission holds the gear in much higher RPMs, allowing for much more aggressive shifting of that 7-speed automatic transmission. The steering wheel, it becomes firmer and more responsive, giving you more weight and road feel. The adaptive air suspension stiffens, which helps with reduced body roll and provides more stability during cornering and braking. And the electronic stability program is also adjusted for a much sportier feel. So again, essentially this button puts your car into what I call a race mode for your S550. So again, one of my favorite buttons. And underneath it is another very useful button, and essentially this car does have a front end lift. So with the air suspension, you can, if you're approaching a very steep driveway and you want to protect that AMG Sport front bumper, you can go ahead and press that button there, and it'll lift the front end of your S550 to help you clear that driveway. And when you're done, you can click that button again, and it'll lower your car right back to its normal ride height. Again, one of my favorite set of buttons here in the center console. Behind your command center buttons, you do have your center heated armrest that is wrapped in that black Napa leather with that silver cross stitch. Fashionable. And the center compartment is also functional. You click this button here and this whole center console opens right up, and you have essentially what I call your storage slash charging station. So here you have a place to put your Mercedes-Benz key, and you have 2 USB charging slots, 1 and 2. All soft touch material on the inside. Very, very nice. And the compartment is actually very, very deep, so you can store a lot and charge a lot. Very, very nice. Another favorite portion of the interior that I do love is the headliner. Comes in Mercedes-Benz version of a black suede material called a part of the designo package is this black suede headliner that runs the length of the entire headliner. It feels really good. It's essentially suede. Mercedes-Benz calls this their Dynamica material, which is essentially Mercedes-Benz version of black synthetic suede. It feels really good. Even the sun visors for the driver and passenger are wrapped in that black suede material. Both driver and passenger are also treated to their own vanity mirrors with light. Very nicely trimmed. And my third most favorite option is that this car, as a reminder, is equipped with that panoramic roof with the mechanical sunshade. That mechanical sunshade is trimmed in that black suede material. And if you want to access that, you can click a button here and the whole roof will open up and allow all that natural sunlight into your interior of your S550. So again, this panoramic roof comes standard in S550. Unfortunately, it is a stationary roof, meaning that it does not open, but it does allow a lot of light into your car. And if it gets too hot, you can go ahead and click the button there. And in one touch, that suede headliner will close up and block out all that light from your panoramic roof. The top center console area features multiple dome lights for driver and passenger. And has a small glasses compartment holder to store your shades. You do have an integrated HomeLink system integrated into your rear view mirror. The interior does feature, again, that pillarless front and rear door window. So when you roll down the front and rear windows, you get this huge, essentially this huge opening, both front and rear, without a B-pillar. And it's just really nice because when you put these windows down, it feels like you're driving in a convertible, despite this being a two-door coupe. That just allows a lot of fresh air into your interior compartment, allows a lot of natural light into your interior compartment. And again, if you want even more natural light, you can go ahead and open up that panoramic roof. And with those pillarless windows, both on the passenger and driver side, in conjunction with that open panoramic roof, gives you an almost convertible experience in the cabin of your S550 coupe. One thing I really like about the seat belt of this Mercedes Benz S550, as you can notice, the seat belt is here. And when you start the car and you put the car into drive, so when you put the car into drive, essentially, just like these old 1980s cars, the steering wheel or the seat belt extends out and essentially hands you your seat belt. Definitely a very cool option. And it also closes up and puts the seat belt away when you don't need it. Very cool, convenient option for your seat belt in your S550 Coupe. Let's see what life is like for your rear seat passengers in your S550 Coupe. So in order to access the rear seats, the front passenger and driver side has this silver button here. You can give it a pull and the whole seat will mechanically inch forward for you, allowing you access to the rear seat of your S550 Coupe. Again, this is a 2+2 coupe, meaning 2 passengers in front and 2 passengers in the rear. The rear passenger seats do feature that Dizino black Napa leather interior finish with that diamond cross stitch all the way down the top and bottom of the seats. The rear seats are also heated and ventilated for the comfort of your rear seat passengers. And let's see what it's like. I'm gonna go ahead and step in here. And let's go ahead and put this seat back. And when you do put the seat back, it does mechanically go back to, So essentially, I have the seat essentially at a normal position. So this car has a good amount of headroom despite being a slope back coupe. I'm about 5'6", 5'7", and my head is actually pretty comfortable. I have like two inches of headroom before my head touches that suede headliner. I guess my only complaint is that if your front passenger is sitting at a comfortable position, there's essentially maybe like an inch of leg room. Although my knees are not touching the seat, it's pretty close, pretty snug fit. So I would say there's probably a lack of leg room in the back of your S550, but I would say that despite it not having leg room, these contoured and bolster seats are actually very comfortable. And again, they are heated. But again, the ergonomics of it actually feels really good. Nice, good lumbar support. And it just feels really snug and just really cozy and comfortable. Lack of leg room, but good headroom, and probably one of the best rear seat ergonomics that I've sat in any two-door coupe. Your rear seat passengers are treated to that piano black trim. And they are treated to double Burmester speakers in the rear. Again, this car has that 3D sound system, and they do have that, get to have that soft touch feel of the black headliner. The door panels in the rear are trimmed in that black Napa leather. The center console here does fold down so that your rear seat passengers do have a nice comfortable armrest. Very nice. And this car does feature the ski pass-through with the internal storage compartment. The center console also doubles up with these integrated, essentially cup holders in the rear for both driver and passenger. Although not sure how stable these things are. And you can open this up, and there's also a center storage compartment for your rear seat passengers. Again, multi-use armrest. And you can lift the armrest here, and you have this center channel that functions as a charging station. And you also have 2 integrated 12-volt charging ports in the rear that you can charge and store away your electronics, and it's hidden behind this piano black trim piece. Your rear seat passengers are treated to their own integrated climate controls with that matching, very sturdy heat inlet outlets and cooling outlets. They're very nice. Overall, one of the nicest rear seats in any two-door coupe, but it's especially nice in this special edition black Napa finish interior, where your rear seat passengers can be treated to those heated rear seats, and they do have a nice view outside those pillarless rear windows and that panoramic roof. And here are your rear seats of your 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. All right, welcome to the test drive of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. As a reminder, this S550 Coupe is powered by a 4.7 liter twin turbo V8. This twin turbo V8 pushes out 449 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. All that power is routed to all 4 wheels via Mercedes-Benz 4MATIC all-wheel drive, and power is sent to the ground via a 7-speed automatic transmission with an option of manual shifting using the PAL shifters mounted on the steering wheel. This base Mercedes-Benz S550 Coupe does feature a single aftermarket modification, and that single aftermarket modification is a Renntech ECU race tune. And according to Renntech, the $2,500 ECU tune of this S550, which is, I want to note, a plug-and-play system. You essentially plug it into your OBD port and upload the Renntech's ECU race tune into your car, and essentially you can return it back to stock as many times as you want and put the Renntech tune back on as many times as you want, depending on, maybe you need to bring the car into maintenance and you don't want your dealers to know that you've fiddled with your S550. Again, according to Renntech, this ECU race tune can be changed from OEM to race very easily by just plugging it in and then reflashing it. So according to Renntech, this ECU tune essentially adds 66 horsepower and 139 foot-pounds of torque to your base S550 motor, bringing it essentially almost in line with the higher trim versions of the S550, such as the more powerful twin-turbo V8 found in the S63, and a little closer to the power range of the big dog S65 V12 twin-turbo. So in total, the Renntech ECU race tune should put this car with the M278 motor at over 540 horsepower and 705 foot-pounds of torque. Those are some very impressive numbers for a ECU tune that only costs roughly under $2,500 from Renntech. Very, very impressive. All right, let's begin the test drive of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. This car does have remote start, so you can go ahead and just put your foot on brake and press the engine start stop button. And in classic Michael's gas and gavel style, I like to do all my point of view test drives in the most aggressive drive setting. As a reminder, this car does come equipped with 2 drive functions, and I'm going to go ahead and put it at the most aggressive setting, which is the sport setting. And also I'm going to set the aromatic suspension on the sport setting also. So as a reminder, the sport setting of the Mercedes Benz S550 essentially is the race mode of this car, and multiple things happen when you put into sport mode. Number one, when you put into sport mode, the variable exhaust, the baffles open up, and the car definitely gets a lot louder exhaust wise. You definitely hear that rumble on idle and acceleration a lot louder. The other things that happen in sport mode is that the steering wheel becomes tightened and becomes heavier, so you get a lot more road feel. The dampers stiffen up, and the 7-speed auto manual transmission holds the rev higher, and again allows you to have much more aggressive shifting of that 7-speed auto manual transmission. So again, we are now in race mode, and let's put it into drive. So let's start off with acceleration. And again, I do want to note that this car does have the Renntech ECU tune, but again, with it or without it, I can tell you right now that one of the biggest strong points of the 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe is definitely the acceleration and power behind that twin turbo V8. Although this is the most basic trim of the this model year's Mercedes Benz S Coupe, the acceleration is pretty aggressive. So although this car does have 2 turbos, I can note for you right now that this car has essentially 0 turbo lag. When you step on the gas, this car essentially it accelerates. I would equate it to like a very powerful airplane motor. When you step on the accelerator, the car just picks up speed just dramatically and pushes you back in your seat. Acceleration times for a stock S550 is at 4.5 seconds. But I can tell you right now that with that Renntech tune, again, the torque numbers on this S550 is pretty dramatic. It feels definitely 0-60 feels definitely a lot faster than 4.5 seconds. I would rate the acceleration on this S550 with and without the Renntech tune. I would rate it a solid 9 out of 10. It's probably one of its biggest strong points. One of the biggest things I love about the V8 twin turbo is that 500 plus to 700 foot-pounds of torque is available in this car in a very low 1500 to 2000 RPM. So with that access to all that torque at the low end, you can imagine how enjoyable this car is to drive, not only in the city streets, but just daily, because again, all that torque is just available at that very low end of the RPM meter. So acceleration on this car, a very, very solid 9 out of 10, with or without the Renntech tune. But I would say with the Renntech tune, I would rate the acceleration at 10 out of 10. Let's talk steering. So I'm actually pretty shocked with the steering. Again, this is an S550 Coupe, and with S550 Coupe, not really much a sports car, more of a grand tourer, but I'm actually very surprised at the great road feel of the steering. So when you put into sport mode, the steering is not too overpowered, where it feels like you're driving on empty roads. Again, it just feels very heavy, very stiff, and it feels more like a sports car than a grand tourer. I can definitely feel the road, and anywhere I point the steering wheel to, the car goes. Excellent, excellent road feel. So for the steering of this car, I'll rate it a solid 9 out of 10. And when I do get lazy, I can put it in comfort mode, and the steering powers right up and becomes very loose, and just allows me to drive around the city streets very comfortably without much effort. But again, if I want to feel like I'm driving a race car, put into sport mode, boom, the steering becomes again much more stiffer and gives you a lot more just feedback from the road. And it also looks and feels great as far as like the tactile feeling from my hand to the steering wheel. And it's also heated, which is great on cold LA mornings. Let's talk suspension. So this car does come with an adjustable, variable, aromatic air suspension. And so when you do put into sport mode, there's actually a specific sport mode button for the air dampers on this car. And so when you put it in the most aggressive sport damping mode, I can tell you right now that so this car weighs close to 4,500 pounds, and I can tell you right now that this car does have body lean, especially on these sharper turns, even in the most aggressive sport mode setting in the air dampers. So is the body lean significant? No. Is it noticeable? Yes. So again, you could definitely feel the weight. There's definitely noticeable body lean. Is it significant body lean? No. But is it enough for me to not bring a smile to my face? Yes. So again, this has the base air suspension, and from my understanding, if you get the higher trim S63 or S65, those air suspension on those cars are actually much more aggressively tuned. In this car, again, there's not enough body lean to make you feel not confident in these turns, but it definitely does make it less enjoyable. For example, on this turn here, I can definitely feel the body lean, but once you get past the body lean, the suspension actually does handle these curves very, very well. So if I ignore the body lean, I can take these corners actually very, very confidently at very high speeds without much concern for losing any sort of traction. And I'm sure the 4MATIC suspension definitely helps in this area. So I would rate the suspension on the base trim S550. I would probably rate it a 7 out of 10. I wish it was just a little more aggressively tuned. So again, if you are wanting a S Coupe of this generation and like myself do like to take canyon roads and the twisties, I recommend the spring for the S63 or the S65 with a much more aggressively tuned AMG air suspension. So again, 7 out of 10. Body lean is negligible but noticeable. But after you get past that, like I said, it does handle these canyon roads pretty well with confidence. But just with lots of body lean. Suspension, 7 out of 10. Let's talk brakes. This car does come with those Mercedes Benz branded 4-piston calipers up front with those huge cross-drilled rotors matching those 4-piston calipers. And I would rate the braking on this a respectable 8 out of 10. They feel very linear. They're definitely not spongy. They feel great actually, and they actually stop this very heavy car, which weighs 4,500 pounds, very, very well. Such as me approaching this curve here, just a very smooth, linear braking that stops the car without jolting me forward. Again, the brakes on this S550 Coupe, solid 8 out of 10. It stops this car with precision and I would say grace, and doesn't jolt the driver. Again, the brakes just handle the weight of this car very, very well. And I've been driving through these canyons for about 15-20 minutes, and again, there's no brake fade at all. So again, just very solid brakes, 8 out of 10 in this S550. Let's talk transmission. So the car comes with a 7-speed automatic transmission. With a manual sport shift option. Right now, I'm just driving it in sport mode that's automated. And I can tell you that the 7-speed automatic transmission is very responsive. It shifts when you need to. Doesn't seem like there's any delay. In the shifting. I'm now in manual mode, shifting with the paddle shifters, and let's see if we can see a difference in it. So the paddle shifters feel very, very solid. Right now I'm slowing down to second gear. Shifting is pretty quick. It upshifts and downshifts very quickly the minute that you touch that paddle shifter. The transmission does shift, and it is slightly more enjoyable to drive it in manual mode because you are able to control those revs and upshift and downshift to your preference. I would rate the 7-speed automated transmission with the manual paddle shifters a solid 7.5 out of 10. And let's talk sound, exhaust sound. So the variable exhaust, when you put into sport mode, the exhaust does become noticeably louder, and I think it sounds great. You get this nice V8 rumble, and I'm gonna put down the windows for you guys and let you guys hear the exhaust for a few minutes. So again, variable exhaust, OEM from the factory, and I think it sounds great. Not overtly aggressive, but just that nice V8 rumble. And again, it's variable, so again, if you go into your neighborhood and you want to respect your neighbors, you can go ahead and put into a comfort mode, and the exhaust quiets right up. Sound in this car, exhaust wise, I rate it a 10 out of 10. And it sounds great, even with the window up. So let's talk the only aftermarket addition to this car, which is the Renntech ECU tune. So a little background, the Renntech ECU tune is completely plug and play. It's essentially a little module that attaches to your OBD1 port. You plug it in, and then essentially it just uploads the Renntech ECU tune into your computer. And then anytime you need to maybe visit a dealer, you can essentially reflash it back to the stock ECU tune, and then when you get it back from the dealer, you can again just re-upload that Renntech ECU tune. And according to Renntech, the ECU tune essentially puts the S550's horsepower and torque numbers pretty much in line with the higher trimmed Mercedes Benz S63 AMG and S65 AMG. So the Renntech ECU tune costs a little below $2,500 retail, and according to Renntech numbers, this $2,500 ECU tune by Renntech adds roughly or exactly 66 horsepower and 139 foot-pounds of torque to your base S550 V8 twin turbo motor. And this motor in total with the Renntech ECU tune puts out a total of 540 horsepower and 705 foot-pounds of torque. Again, that's an increase of 66 horsepower and 139 foot-pounds of torque above the base S550's horsepower and torque numbers. And again, everything is completely plug and play. So this portion is more of just evaluating what that tune is and how it feels in this test drive portion. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to test drive this S550 before the tune, so I can't really compare, but I do have experience driving other cars similar that do push out 700 foot-pounds of torque. And I can tell you right now that this car definitely feels like it has 700 foot-pounds of torque. It's slightly louder, it's slightly more aggressive than I would say base S550 would be. And what I do love about the Renntech ECU tune is the fact that back then with ECU tunes, you would have to take out your ECU and send it over to the company, and then they'll send it back to you and back and forth. But Renntech's ECU tune for this Mercedes S550 and other Mercedes S550s are essentially all plug and play. They send you a handheld tuner, you plug it into, I believe, the OBD port, and essentially you can upload the Renntech tune into the car itself. And then you can always reflash it back to the OEM ECU tune. Say if you are going to bring a car in to get it maintained by a Mercedes Benz dealer, and then when you're done with the dealer, you can essentially plug that Renntech ECU tune back into OBD port and reflash it into the essentially the race tune version of the ECU provided by Renntech. So again, you can go back and forth very easily, and I think that's pretty impressive for paying $2,500 to gain essentially 66 horsepower and over 150 foot-pounds of torque. Those are pretty impressive numbers per dollar that you're spending for something that is plug and play and completely reversible. So again, very, very impressive aftermarket modification. And you can definitely feel that 700 horsepower, especially during hard acceleration and lower RPMs. So a little background about Renntech. For people who don't know, Renntech is one of those companies that if you know, you know. Renntech is essentially a tuning arm or a aftermarket tuner that I feel I hold into the same regard as AMG, or for example, if you're in the Honda scene, Mugen tunes Hondas. Again, Renntech is just a very respectable, one of the most highly respected aftermarket tuners for Mercedes Benz outside of AMG. And they've been tuning Mercedes since the mid 1980s, and they provide not only the ECU tune that is inside this S550, but they also provide various aftermarket parts, such as they have lowering suspension modules to lower your Mercedes. They have actual catback and axle back exhaust, aftermarket exhaust for various Mercedes and other European cars. Again, just a very respected tuner for Mercedes Benz. And it was a pleasure to be able to experience that a little piece of Renntech inside this S550 that I'm reviewing today here on Andros Crest Highway. So people are wondering, like, okay, well, let's say you buy a Mercedes S550 in the used car aftermarket, and the person tells you that, oh yeah, this car does come with the Renntech ECU tune. How are you supposed to know if you can't pop up with a computer and see like some sort of component there? Well, the easy solution is the same thing I did with this car. Was basically you can call up Renntech customer service, and Renntech customer service will essentially tell you if a specific car has the Renntech ECU tune by providing the VIN number. So basically what I did earlier today, just to verify for the fun of it, and also kind of just for informational purposes, is that if you're trying to find out whether a Mercedes Benz has the Renntech ECU tune, you can simply call up Renntech. They're located in Florida, in the continental United States. And essentially I just called them and I gave them the VIN number for this car, and within 2 or 3 seconds, the person will let you know whether this car was tuned or has the factory, the Renntech ECU tune. So again, very, very impressive. Again, a very reputable, one of the most reputable aftermarket tuners. And again, just great customer service. Called them and they gave me the information I need within a few minutes. And one of the best things I love about Renntech is the fact that when I called their customer service line, within a minute or less than a minute, I was on the line with an actual tech, an actual person, an actual human being that again just got me that information just very, very quickly, and also gave me a lot of additional information regarding the ECU tune for Renntech in this car that I've shared with you in this video. So again, great company, great tune, and I think the Renntech ECU tune is one of the best modifications you can spend per dollar for this Mercedes S550 and any other Mercedes that you may have. And so the main reason why I love these Mercedes Benz two-door Pillarless coupe comes down to the fact that when you roll down all the windows, not only does the Pillarless windows allow you great rearward visibility as such, there's nothing blocking your view when you're merging or changing lanes. Additionally, the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe already has really pretty great rearward visibility with that huge rear window. And despite the rear back seats having, again, that large plastic trim on the rear back fender, by having this large open pillarless window with your side view mirror essentially negates that blind spot. So again, you just have really great rearward visibility. And the second thing is that it's just really fun to put all the windows down, open up that panoramic roof cover, let all that natural light in, and just put on some good music and just drive. You can be at the beach, you can be in the city. Either way, it just feels, with all those windows down, it just feels like again, you're driving in a convertible with all the fresh air and all that natural light. So for the rest of this driving video, we're just gonna cruise and allow the audience to enjoy the sights and sounds of driving a pillarless Mercedes Benz two-door coupe. The biggest pro of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe comes down to the fact that it is simply one of the best looking two-door Mercedes Benz Coupes that has been manufactured in the past 30 years. It is also what I classify as the last of the big body Mercedes-Benz two-door pillarless coupes / Grand Tourers. As a reminder, the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe was discontinued in 2021 and it was never replaced by a newer or updated model. One of my favorite Mercedes-Benz model was definitely the earlier and late generation CL class Mercedes, and the S550 was the replacement model that replaced the CL generation Mercedes from a few years ago, and it is probably one of the best looking two-door pillarless Mercedes-Benz Coupes produced outside of the CL model. The C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe is the last of those big everything Mercedes with the big motor, the big long sloping hood, just big fender wells for those big Mercedes-Benz 20-inch AMG wheels. You have big exhaust tips. Just everything about this S550 Coupe is just large and opulent. For example, the front seats are essentially, again, just so rich and large and luxurious. And Mercedes-Benz just simply doesn't produce cars like that anymore here in 2025. So the CLE Coupe in 2025 is essentially the only two-door Mercedes-Benz pillarless coupe that's available from Mercedes-Benz, and it just doesn't look as it just doesn't look great. Again, the C217 Mercedes-Benz Coupe that you see in front of us is definitely, again, the last of the great looking two-door Mercedes-Benz produced, and I do not believe that Mercedes-Benz is ever going to create anything close to what we find in the C217 Mercedes-Benz Coupe. And of course you have those large pillarless windows. To match those large sculpted fenders. The Mercedes-Benz C217 Coupe, I truly believe, is one of those timeless classic Mercedes-Benz design. it's aged very, very well here in 2025, and I truly believe that it's going to continue to age very gracefully beyond 2025 forward, and sooner or later will become a definite modern classic collectible. So again, the biggest pro of the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe comes down to it just looks, and it's designed just really, really nicely, and it just looks amazing from any and all angles. So again, biggest pro of the 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe comes down to it has a great exterior appearance and interior appearance. The first con of the 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe is related to actually the first car review that I did, or I uploaded onto the Gas and Gavel YouTube channel, which was my own personal 2003 Mercedes Benz SL500 project car. I'm gonna leave a link to that video below. And basically, as a reminder, one of the biggest headaches for my 2003 Mercedes Benz SL500 came down to the suspension. And the C217 S550 Coupe that we see in front of us also has a suspension issue. Although this C217 Mercedes Benz does not have the ABC suspension, it does have Mercedes Benz Airmatic air ride suspension, which is essentially the suspension system is basically powered by essentially compressed air, and that compressed air essentially gets pumped into the dampeners to either soften or stiffen up the suspension. The Airmatic suspension also allows this Mercedes Benz to raise and lower its ride height. For example, the front end lift on this car is essentially powered by the front air springs. So just like the R230 Mercedes Benz with the constant ABC suspension failures, the Airmatic suspension in the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe is also prone to issues. So this model is prone to potential air suspension problems, primarily due to leaks and related component failures of the Mercedes Benz Airmatic air suspension system. Common issues related to any sort of air leak or failing Airmatic suspension will result in a sagging or bouncing ride. Uneven suspension height of any of the four corners of the Mercedes Benz can also be a signal of a failing Airmatic suspension. And of course, if you see in your instrument cluster any sort of Airmatic suspension warning lights, that is also a definite sign of a failing Airmatic air suspension in the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe Airmatic suspension. So apparently, very similar to the ABC suspension failure issues in the R230 Mercedes Benz, the C217 Airmatic suspension issues are also very common, and the repairs can be moderately expensive to repair or replace. For example, the repair and replacement of a single air strut can run between $1,100 to $2,000 in parts and labor. And as a reminder, you do have 4 of these struts in your car. A total system refresh involving multiple repairs on the air suspension on this car can cost between $3,000 to upwards of $5,000 or more, depending on how many things are failing or needing repair. So common air suspension problems are air leaks. Leaks can develop in any of the air springs or the air compressors. And when this happens, it can lead to sagging of the car or uneven suspension height. There can be issues with the aromatic compressor failure. The compressor pressurizes the system. Over time, it can fail, and when it happens, it essentially doesn't allow you to either lift the car with the front end lift, or you also get, again, uneven height in your Mercedes Benz C217 suspension. A very bumpy or rough ride can be another sign of a failing air suspension system in your C217 S550 Coupe. So the reason why I brought this up, and the reason why I added it to a con list of this C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe, was that so the first time I got into this car and started it up, this car is actually a very well sorted 2016 example. It's actually very well taken care of. It's very clean inside and out. It has relatively low mileage, and essentially the only thing that was wrong with this car was the minute that I started it up, I essentially got a basically a front end lift slash aromatic warning light on the dash. Now again, I don't know too much about this car firsthand. All I know is that again, it's very odd that this very car again had that warning light and nothing else wrong with it. I'm hoping for the owner of this vehicle it's not too big of an issue, but again, that warning light, the minute I stepped into this car, was just again a reminder of my own experiences with my own R230 ABC suspension system issues. And this car, the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe, is no different. Again, biggest con is that this car does have aromatic suspension issues, and especially the fact that a lot of the earlier model 2015 2016 models, right now it's 2025, a lot of those models are in that mileage period where, again, a lot of the these earlier models are reaching a point where the aromatic suspension either needs to be maintained or certain parts of it need to be replaced. So they'll get more, I feel like it'll be happening more and more, especially with the early generation C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe models. So if you're in the market for the Mercedes Benz C217 Coupe in the used car market, the best thing you can do for yourself is, number one, get a great pre-purchase inspection from an independent Mercedes mechanic or a Mercedes Benz dealer. Number two, you can inspect it yourself. Number three, do your research. Make sure the previous owner has a great maintenance history. And number three, I think one thing you could do is maybe look for a later model C217, for example, a 2018 or a 2019, as opposed to the earlier model 2015s and 2016s, and maybe find one with as least amount of mileage as possible. Those can prevent a lot of headaches. So these are quite a few things that you can do to address the con of this C217 aromatic suspension issues. And lastly, if all else fails and you do pick up your C217, set aside $3,000-$5,000, put it into a savings account, and you know, that'll be kind of like your buffer for when the suspension fails. Because according to the internet and what I read, the aromatic suspension in the C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe, it's not an issue of if the aromatic suspension would fail, it's an issue of when, especially with higher mileage examples. So again, con, aromatic suspension in this C217 Mercedes Benz Coupe. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2016 Mercedes Benz S550 Coupe. If you guys enjoyed this review, please tune in next week for more exciting, exotic, enthusiast, performance, and European car reviews.